Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It's Wednesday, October 28th. It's 9:48 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. As we can see, fiat's rocking into Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Litecoin. You can see it just falling from the etherical skies into the center of the U.S. It's very, very cool. Why did Bitcoin take a dump? Around 6 or 7%, I think, is how far it dumped before it began to bounce off the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart. I'll show you that. Why? Well, who knows? It just did. It does. It happens. Coinbase was down for a bit. That could have played a part, some say. Looking at Coin360, it's a red day in the market, but Bitcoin is recovering. Bitcoin Cash, one of the biggest shitcoins on earth, is recovering first. It just proves that goodness does not prevail in the world yet. So, 2.8 billion in volume. Boom, wonderful. 1.5 billion of that almost on Binance. Coinbase still rocking along at 381 million, followed by Kraken. So people are still using Coinbase even though it had problems. Let me refresh this. All right, refresh. Okay, on Binance, where the volume is, 29% long, 70% short. So you know what people are thinking on Binance, where the volume is. The market sentiment is short. Looking at the big market today, S&P 500 on the top. Boom! That thing opened with a gap and a red candle. Russell 2000 index, red candle. Dollar strength index, it's pumping. We've seen this before. All right, and for bank strength, I'm looking at the KRE. It is just actually, unfortunately, below the 200 moving average again on the daily. These are all daily charts here, but we are showing a green candle. So look at this strange voodoo. Make of it as you will. We'll go over that daily, and you will see how it does correspond to the forces of good and evil in the universe. All right, with that said, I like this indicator. This is Bitcoin versus USDT. So basically, Bitcoin's value versus gold. It's basically Bitcoin against gold. It's kind of interesting. So right now, we're down a little bit. On the daily chart here, it would take you 6.9 gold coins to buy a Bitcoin. It's pretty grooving. I'm going to keep looking at this. I think it'll show to have value to watch over time. Now, looking at Bitcoin on the daily chart, still way above the 200 moving average. We do have a red candle today for sure. MACD is still positive, but the fulcrum, I guess as they would say, if you look at this little notch here, it's pointing the wrong way. We shall see. You can see the histogram is beginning to round off there. So on the daily MACD, we might be starting to cool off. It would make sense. It would look like previous trends. Now, some say we are in a double top. This is a daily. You can see it easier on the weekly, but I got a big monitor here. So basically, look at this. 1, 2. Double top. What does that mean? Make of it as you will. We're above the 200 moving average. We may continue moving up, may continue moving down. If you are a believer in double tops being where you begin to descend, well, the MACD on the daily would correspond to that quite possibly. All right, look at the 4-hour chart. I gotta adjust my little Fibonacci here. There we go. Let me actually just nix that. Yeah, here we go. I don't know why I had two. So there we go. On the 4-hour chart, you can see we are corresponding with the fib very, very well. We did a bounce off the 236 fib, which is 1,386 or so, even though we did wick below it. The stochastic RSI definitely has room to move up. Directional index is still green. I do think we may have found a balance point. We're above the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. Overall, this is definitely a quick dump, but we went back to where we had support given the fib and previous volume and support and resistance in the chart. Let's look at the 4-hour chart again here. Let me nix these. I don't know where these came from. Strange things happen at night around here. All right, so on the 4-hour chart here, I'm just checking out the MACD. If we can see here on the 4-hour chart, the MACD has turned negative with that dump. Okay, I do think things might be starting to turn around, or maybe since the last I looked a few minutes ago, they're not turning around. Okay. You can see here on the 2-hour chart, we did dump to where we had previous support and resistance, and it does appear that we are making a bit of a bounce now. We're still above the 200 moving average, but the MACD is definitely negative. That does show immediate price action for Bitcoin, I have found over time. If this begins to turn positive shortly, then I think we definitely are out of that dump cycle, quite possibly. With that said, looking at the 45-minute chart, I have to adjust my fib here. Things have gone crazy. All right. Let me try to do a quick Fibonacci here. Sorry to keep you waiting. I try to do this as fast as I can, and I always forget where it is. Okay, There we go. Starting where we crossed the 200 moving average last, as this pump got started, you can see the Fibonacci does tend to follow pretty closely. It is working. We did here on the 45-minute chart do a beautiful wick bounce off the 382 fib at 12,887. Also, around that place we had a bounce. We have previous support and resistance in the chart, and we also have previous buy-sell volume. We also have previous buy-sell volume where we're at right now, at around 13,100. So really, we're making a good bounce. On the 45-minute chart, I always find that health is above and descending is below. Basically, ascending is above, descending is below. I know it's a short time frame, but it tells you a lot, just like the 2-hour MACD does for Bitcoin. Also, with that said, we did go below the 200 moving average, but we did bounce above it. Now, to me, that oftentimes tends to mean this is not really as strong a bounce as I would like. So we got to give it some time and see if we get above this 236 fib, which is at 3,258. When we get to around 13,000, I'm sorry, when we get above 13,258, or basically when we find support back here where we had a nice volume spike at around 13,400. Really, we got to get above, for me, around 13,300 or at least 13,250 and find some sideways and some slight upward motion before I would say that this bounce was just basically a dump and a bounce. Maybe because of Coinbase, maybe just because it happens. You never really know. But I'm waiting for a confirmation above this 236 fib and some support there before I would say we're going to continue up. We are getting close to the elections. Even though it's only Wednesday, we're also getting close to a weekend, which might be really wild. Myself, not financial advice, but I can tell you what I'm doing. I'm holding my cards. I'm in Bitcoin, and I am in US dollar. And basically, unless an alt trade looks really, really badass, or Bitcoin like totally dumps to some ridiculous level, I'm holding my cards until after the craziness. Because look at this alt, Ocean. I've been watching this one. This is a hard game to play. As Bitcoin has been volatile, you can see this alt has been volatile. But pretty much if you just sat in Bitcoin, you probably would have made what you would have made trading your ass up on this coin, because you probably would have lost a little, quite possibly. We are in intrepid weathers. This is crazy. So, if you're trading, keep your cards close to your chest. Only trade a really damn good setup on an alt if you're going to do it. And I suggest, and it's linked to in the video here, 4 days before the election, get out of the market and just chill unless you find a killer alt trade. And even then, stop losses. Take care, everybody. It's going to only get more volatile and interesting as we get near that election. But it's a beautiful world. I'm having fun. So I just wanted to mention, if you go to whatisанoperator.com, click on Bitcoin Daily View. That's where I have a bunch of cool stuff that I'm reading, some cool things that I've got that you can join, etc., etc., etc. I do mention blockchain education there also. It's really a great place to learn to trade, learn a trading methodology that works. I use it. It makes me money. It's back tested. Makes me happy, and it's constantly evolving. You join there for a little while, learn about blockchain education, trading methodology. It's going to do well for you, I think. Not financial advice ever. I'm just a crazy person. Take care.